Hi everyone, I thought I'd do a video about what to do when your KW1 2-in-1 pick has a damaged or broken lifter tip. It's pretty easy to replace, but it depends on what process you use. Don't worry though, because from most of the original Lishi distributors, you can get one of these replacement lifters for about $10. They come in KW1, KW5, SC1, and SC4 configurations. So if you use a little bit too much force and bend the tip like this one is here, it's a process, but we can get it changed. So the first thing you have to do before you can change out the lifter is to remove the tension arm. We do that with the Allen wrench that Mr. Lee provides with every one of his authorized tools, and we loosen the set screw and the tension arm comes right off. He originally intended this so that you could flip it over and use the tool from both sides, but subsequently we discovered that it's much easier to use the KW1L tool for tighter corners or locks that are mounted on right-handed doors. So now that I got this off, the next thing we have to do is, if we flip the tool over, you can see where there are 4 welding spots that have to be dealt with in order to get this part of the lifter assembly to lift up slightly so that we can pull out the old tool. If you look at the new lifter arm, you can see that there's a little pivot point right there that interlocks into the tool itself. So we have to get this to pull up just enough to where that pivot arm clears and we can remove the old arm. Before we do that though, I'm going to clean this tool up a little bit, just because I don't like all the gunk and dirt and stuff that's accumulated. I love my CRC electronic cleaner, available at most big box stores, and all I do is take a little and spray it on there and get rid of some of the old dirt and debris. If you really want to do a thorough job though, an old toothbrush works really well. You just kind of rub it on there, another quick blast, and wipe off the residual dirt. Okay, so now that we have it off, what we can do is flip it over. But I want to change angles a little bit, so give me a second. So I want you to notice here that when the tools are made, there are 4 spots that a special laser welding process is used to anchor the front plate to the tool base and reading panel. So what I'm going to do is to just gently remove these 2 welded spots so that I can lift it up and get a bit of a gap between the guard and the lifter arm to pull it out. The way I'm going to do that is, this is my Dremel tool and I have the cable drive connected to it, but you notice that this is a very thin composite wheel. These are so delicate that when I moved the Dremel from the back of my bench to the front, it actually broke one of the wheels. So all we're going to really do is just touch these 2 spots just enough to get the weld broken loose so I can flex this panel back and extract the old lifter. So again, when you're doing anything with a Dremel tool, you always want proper eye protection and you want to be very careful of moving pieces. So I'm going to turn it on. It'll be a little loud, but you'll get the idea. See how I'm just working that little weld just a little bit. And that's it. I'm going to see if I can flip it over. Now, Mr. Lee did make a video of this process. I tried doing exactly what he suggested, which is to use a broken pick and separate the 2 points, but I didn't have any luck. So let me flip this over and I'll show you what I mean. So in the video that Mr. Lee did, he took a pick, worked it into the gap that already exists in here, and it just popped that reading panel down. I wasn't able to do it, so that's why I removed the welds. So I'm going to give it a couple little taps, and this is just a surplus broken pick that I had laying around. So I tap it on the one side, and then get a little extra room in there, flip it over, and tap it on the other. And the idea is just to kind of separate where we ground down the welds. So let me flip it over and see if I can get it to flex and hinge. Each tool is a little different, so you may have to work it a bit to get that to separate. So I'm not having much luck. So let me take off a little bit, and then once I get it separated, I'll show you what I mean. So I'm in my garage. It's 100 degrees. I live in Arizona, and unfortunately I left the air conditioner on for the last take. So what I'm going to do now, though, is show you that I really had to go a bit deeper with the grinding wheel. And these ceramic discs work real well. You put the Dremel on the lowest speed and just kind of alternate back and forth until you get enough material removed that the weld is basically broken by grinding. The interesting thing is, when I did the last take on this one, the pin that holds the lifter arm in place actually broke and fell out. So you notice how it flexes, and take a look at that lifter arm. If you notice how deformed the hole is, that means that the user of this pick, and no, it wasn't me, actually used way too much force, which is what caused the lifter tip to bend. Because if you contrast it with the new one, there's quite a bit of material that was removed from that hole. So now that I have the new one, I'm just going to take it, slide it in, flex the panel back. Now understand that there is a channel that little pin rides in, so you have to kind of feel it. And once you get it in there, now it slides real smoothly. Be careful not to bend the indicator pointer, because if you do, that pointer will be off and then your readings are going to be off. So now that I have the new one in, all I have to do is grab the collar for the tension arm, put it over there, tighten up the set screw, and look, you can't even see where I ground away on the welds. I mean, you can see a little bit, but who cares? So now my tool's repaired, I can put it back into service, and I'm ready to go. Hey, thanks for watching.